Hey guys, what's up? This is Ed here, and so I wanted to talk about these last few games for the Warriors. They finally got their three-game win streak. You know, it's kind of sad to see that they took this long, but let's take it as it is. So I want to talk about what I've seen in these past few games, and I want to talk about two other things after I discuss about what has happened in these few games. So they've like what has happened this season. It's a very up and down season for them, right? They win two games in a row, they lose two games in a row, and with the exception of being um, this and this in three games right here. Now I am recording this as the Lakers game is going on, and in this Lakers game, I guess it's just a loss that teams usually have for as the Warriors, right? You just don't have it in you. And for the Lakers, everything was going their way, right? In the first quarter, they hit like six of eight threes, or six of nine, or something like that. They're not usually a high percentage. They're not usually a great 3 point shooter, and yet they were hitting everything, and it seemed like everything was going their way. LeBron was doing his thing early. Kyle Kuzma, Markieff Morris, Montrezl Harrell, Marc Gasol, even. So it was just their way the whole way. Right, the Warriors just could not get anything going, and then Draymond goes out with a sprained ankle. I don't know how long he'll be out, but if I was Steve Kerr, maybe I might hold him out against this Trailblazers game. It's not worth it to risk further injury. Maybe I might hold him out, but I we'll see. Now, in this stretch of games, we've seen the Warriors battle in the crunch time. So what I'm talking about is that against the Magic and against the Hornets, the Magic game they should have won. That was no excuse right there. They blew that lead, um, and they should have won. But the Hornets game they were battling right, and had it not been for the Draymond um, injection, they they could have won. Now I read the last 2 minute report, and it said that all that was needed to be done was that one of the Hornets players or the coaching staff has to call a timeout in order to secure the ball. So that's what they did, and the referees reviewed it, and it seemed like they got the correct call. So I don't know. I guess Draymond was just in that moment, and he just wanted things to go that way. I forgive Draymond as a fan. There are going to be times where he is going to be a hothead. There are going to be times where he's going to be a leader. It was just an unfortunate time. And then Terry Rozier, great shot by him, tough shot, move on, right? And then the Warriors get two tough, gritty wins against the Knicks and the Pacers, right? And these two games, they cannot hit anything in the ocean from three, especially against the Pacers game. But in this Knicks game, it kind of showed what the season the second unit has been having, right? The Warriors take a huge lead, then the second unit blows the lead, and then Pascal seemed very passive in that game, and Steph, albeit he did hit seven threes, not a good shooting percentage by him. And it has been like that for the past few games, and I expect him to break out of it against this Portland game. Um, and Draymond really kind of got everyone together, and he had some timely plays. Wiseman, he scored double figures in his return. Looney made the start, and he was the team leading plus 28, I believe, or something like that. But yeah, Steph, 7 of 14 from 3, but 9 of 22 overall. Not necessarily ideal, but you'll take it. Now, against this Pacers team, my goodness, 5 of 26. That would usually mean the Warriors get blown out, like they are getting blown out today. But it was their defense, right? And obviously, the Pacers missed wide open shots from the three, but it was ultimately the Warriors' defense that helped them win this game. Now, Draymond did get a double double, 11 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds, or something like that, or 11 or 12 assists, but he had a huge impact in this game. Wiseman. In the first quarter, the Warriors nearly had a turnover. Wiseman picks up the ball with his one hand and then just walks up on the 3 point line and hits it from three, right? And that to me seems like he's getting confident in his own shot. Now, I would like to see him cut out on his fouls a lot because he is a very valuable piece. Sometimes he doesn't even know how valuable he is to the team, and that's what it seems like. There are times where he can just use his length to contest players. He has a 9-1 standing reach. He can use that. He is very gifted in terms of that. Um, and the Warriors won despite a Steph horrific shooting from the field. Kelly Oubre made timely plays. He got hit in the head at the end of the play at the end of the game, but he made timely plays. Wiggins didn't really have a huge impact, but we'll take it. Pascal was making huge buckets down the stretch, and Draymond had that half court dunk, that put the game away. Now, Doug McDermott was getting open looks. Jeremy Lamb were getting open looks, right? Those are the two really good 3 point shooters. I believe Jeremy Lamb leads the league in 3 point percentage, and the Warriors absolutely dodged a few right there. Now I'm going to talk about the Hornets game, the one in which Draymond got 19 assists, a new career high for him, a triple double. 25 turnovers cannot happen in a game. For the Warriors, they absolutely dodged a few right there. Now Steph, pretty good shooting percentage, not like it was above 50%, but he didn't have that huge impact, right? Kelly Oubre played pretty well, 27 points, but he also didn't have that huge impact like Draymond did. Now, the second unit, this is becoming a problem right here. They're blowing too many leads, and in the playoffs, that is, if the Warriors get into the playoffs, in the playoffs you cannot blow a lead, right? Most likely the games are going to be close, and when you have that lead, when you have a pretty big lead, you have to cherish it for what it's worth. Now, Damian Lee, he was the only plus out there, I guess. He hit some timely shots in that second quarter to really curb the Hornets' momentum and help the Warriors regain the lead. I believe Draymond had like two near turnovers on one possession, and then Oubre gets blocked by Biyombo, and the ball goes all the way to Lee on the in the corner three, and he hits it. Right, that was a huge momentum shot. Now, the Warriors kept on blowing the lead in the fourth quarter, which is very alarming to a very hungry Hornet squad, right? And I'm going to tell you something. LaMelo Ball is going to be my pick for the Rookie of the Year, right? He has answered all of the questions in that draft class. He has range, although it is very streaky. He can hit that 3 point shot, and he seems like he's trying on the defensive end, and that is very good. He seems to be quite a leader out there, right? He's trying to direct the traffic. He's more of a pass first point guard, but when you need him to score, he will score, right? Him, Tyrese Halliburton, Emmanuel Quickly, they are my picks right now. Wiseman, I think I'm not gonna pick him. I know he will be an all-star in the future, but he's not necessarily standing out, right? I know he's had a couple of double-digit scoring games, but to me, I think he's being grown in the right culture, to be a championship piece, right? Not necessarily the go-to star, but he's going to be part of a championship team that plays his own role. I think that's great for him, and that's why the Warriors selected him as a second pick, right? They're thinking more future than what he's immediately going to bring to the table right here. Now, there are a few things that are sitting on my mind right now, and it's that there is this comparison between Steph and Damian Lillard, right? And I'm saying that they're pretty dead even, okay? But one argument that always kind of really makes me angry is that Steph Curry has 3 championships. Steph Curry alone did not win 3 championships. Him and his team won 3 championships, by the way. Right? The system that he was in won 3 championships, not Steph Curry alone. Okay, like I guarantee you, if Damian Lillard was put in that same system, he would win championships or even more, right? What more does Damian Lillard have to do to really be at the same level as Steph? If anything, I would say that Damian Lillard might have a slight higher edge in terms of where he is and where he is right now. Steph is edging him out a little bit in terms of scoring. I don't know what it'll be after today. Uh, but if you look at the crunch time numbers, it favors Lillard a lot more than it does Steph, right? Obviously, Lillard will have the ball a lot more, okay? I will say that. But where it favors Steph is now there's that belief that, oh, he's had a few All Stars on his team. Now he doesn't, but he's still shooting really well from the 3 point line. But don't bring up that argument that Steph has 3 MVPs. You can bring up the argument that he is a 2-time MVP, and I will agree with you on that. But don't bring up that argument that he's a 3-time champion, because he played for a team that got 3 championships. If you're gonna say the championship argument, then I'm gonna say that Sean Livingston is better than Damian Lillard, right? Because he's got 3 championships. He was not the main guy on the team. He was a contributing piece to that team. So don't ever bring up that championship argument, because it is a really bad argument. And my second thing I want to talk about is, so it's a frequently talked about topic right here, and it's today's, like, it's the NBA defense now versus the NBA defense in the 90s. More specifically, hand checking, and how the 3 point line is being defended today. So a lot of people were saying that, oh, there was hand checking in the 90s and the 80s, but actually, if you looked at the rule book, it did not allow hand checking in the 90s and 80s. If you placed your hand on Michael Jordan, he's going to get the benefit of the doubt in terms of every call. Same thing with Scottie Pippen. Like, if you look at some of the footage, they're getting the same calls as we are today as a league. So don't say that, oh, this was a tougher team and this was a tougher league. There was only one tough team, one very physical team, or actually two. Pistons and the Jazz, right? They've got bruisers out there. They got bruisers out there. Not they got. But other than that, if you touched Michael Jordan, if you touched Scottie, if you touched anyone, that would kind of merit as a foul, right? If you look at it in terms of today, like James Harden, Steph Curry, LeBron James, if you touch them, right, and they're trying to move, that's a foul. So don't bring up that argument that, oh, there was hand checking there. No, there was no hand checking there. And then the second argument is that the offense has evolutionized a lot, right? And the defense is trying to come up to that level. And people say that, oh, the 90s defense was much better. Well, look at how perimeter oriented that offense was in the 90s, and look at how perimeter oriented it is today in 2020 and 2021, right? Look at that difference right there. Teams barely attempted 15 three-pointers, 20 three-pointers, to now teams are attempting 50 three-pointers right here. So obviously, you attempt more, you make more, right? And now the defense has a lot more to worry about. It's not just what's happening inside the arc, it's what's happening outside of the arc. There are more rotations, right? Obviously, defensive rotations are going to be broken down since there are more three-pointers being attempted. But defenses have a lot more to do, and they are trying to respond on their own, right? I'm not discrediting the 90s defense. I think it was great what they were doing. But don't discredit the 2020s defense based on what you're seeing in the 90s and early 2000s. Don't discredit that, right? There were no Steph Currys in the 90s. There was great three-point shooters, but they didn't shoot as many three-pointers as what we are seeing right now. Curry, Harden, Lillard, We did not see that in the 90s. And so the defenses didn't have to worry about that as much. It was more a novelty than it is now. Now it is a necessity. If anything, uh, the mid-range game has become a little more novelty, right? In the sense that if you can make it, then you become one of the more elite players in this league on the offensive end, right? KD, Curry, Kawhi, Paul George, right? They have a lot of stuff in their offensive bag, but the defenses have a lot more to do right now, right? That's why we praise players like Draymond, Andre Iguodala, all these veteran defensive players because they know what they have to do, right? But they have to just travel a lot more throughout the court than they do in the 90s, right? Where there were the great defenders like Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, but they had one job to well, Dennis Rodman had one job to do, and that was to rebound the ball, defend the post and rebound the ball. But he didn't have to guard the perimeter as much as what defenders have to do now. And there are going to be nights where uh, your defense is not up to it, right? And the offense will get a lot of 3 pointers, like today against the Lakers, right? The defense was kind of not up to it. And so that is my take on why we should really stop degrading one era in terms of defense and try to prove that the other era was better. Because if anything, they seem more equal, right? It seems like the 2020s defense, right? It has a lot more to do than the 90s defenses does. Now, I have one more question right here. Why do we have to degrade one player's success to really value the other player, right? Like if I'm saying that LeBron James is a great, then why do I have to bring up the bad stuff about Michael Jordan? Or if I'm saying that Michael Jordan is great, why do I have to bring up the bad moments of LeBron's career? Why can't I say that Michael Jordan and LeBron James and Kobe Bryant and Wilt Chamberlain and all these other guys, right? Why can't I just say that they are great without having to bring up their poor moments in their careers? Because every player has poor moments in their careers, right? For LeBron, it was the 2011 Finals. For MJ, it's him being 1-9 in the playoffs without Dennis Rodman. For Kobe, it's multiple things. So why can't we just stop degrading one player's greatness to really value the other player's greatness? That is my question right here. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, go ahead and like this video. Share my videos with others, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below your views about this. Until then, see you next time.